Roxy and Eli here. Today is the fourth Sunday in our Eunoia sermon series. Eunoia means beautiful thinking. It's a Greek word. And many of you have been following along our prayers with our friendship bracelets that we made together 4 weeks ago. And as you remember, our first week was red, which we focused on love. Our second week was joy, which we have represented by pink. Last week, we focused on peace, which is white. And this week, our fourth color is blue, and that means patience. That is what we're going to use to remember patience. So, before we get focused on our topic for today, I was thinking we could take 3 deep breaths, open us with a prayer, and then we'll get into it. 1, 2, 3. Help me, Good Shepherd, to find patience. Help me to be present in the moment instead of hurrying from one thing to the next. Now, when was a time that you were patient?
I'm not Mrs. Zoo opening.
Oh, so Eli had to be really patient because the zoo was not open for a long time. But then we just recently went to the zoo because it's open again, and we had to pre-register for our spot, and we had to wear our masks the whole time. And then we had to patiently wait as we went from line to line because you couldn't just run wherever you wanted. Because of the virus, you have to, they wanted to make sure that we were following all of the rules and staying in line and standing 6 feet apart from everyone. And that took a lot of patience. Patience is kind of like waiting, is the best way that I can describe it simply. Oftentimes we have to wait for breakfast, right? We have to wait for our food to heat in the oven. That's patience. Oftentimes we have to be patient in the car when we go on really long car trips. I know some of y'all are going places now to like the beach and different trips, and that's patient. I wonder when you have been patient today or maybe this week. What we're going to do today to focus on patience is we are going to find the inner pause with one of our mindfulness cards, and it's a breathing exercise that we will actually do before our story. Then we will be telling the parable of the leaven. So that's with the tan dot right there. And Eli and I will be telling you that story, and then we have a special guest speaker because sometimes I really struggle with patience, especially when I'm cooking and baking bread, which leaven is like the yeast that you put in bread to make it rise. So leavening means you're rising up and you're getting big and fluffy. So that's what our story's about. And I try to make bread, and oftentimes it doesn't rise enough because I wasn't patient. So we have called in an expert baker for your surprise after the story to see who it is who can really teach us about the patience that it takes to bake bread.
Yes.
Stay tuned. Let's discover patience by finding the pause in our breath. Breathe normally. At the end of each breath out, notice the short pause that happens before you breathe in again. Relax your shoulders during the pause. Breathe in again. Breathe out and find the next pause. Relax your tummy muscles during the second pause. Breathe in. Pause. Breathe out. Pause. Relax your feet during the third pause. Continue as long as you wish, relaxing your whole body a little more with each pause. This is a helpful exercise anytime you don't get your way or have to wait your turn. Thanks, everybody. Now that we have taken and found our pause in our breath, we would love for you to join us for our Godly Play story. which is a parable, and we know that because it's in what color box?
Golden.
Golden, yep. And it kind of sounds like a box, a door. And oftentimes when we talk about parables, we talk about how sometimes when we hear them, they're kind of confusing and it might not open to us like a door. But if we keep revisiting them, then maybe we will learn something new. It looks like a present, and parables were a present to us from Jesus. They were stories that Jesus told us and in hopes of explaining what heaven was like, or some other kind of complicated questions that they were getting. So this is a gift to you from Jesus. Should we open it? Okay. There was once somebody who knew so much and was doing such great things in our world. And people began to follow him. They just wanted to be like him and wanted to learn more. Do you know what his name was?
Yes.
What was his name?
Jesus.
Jesus. Well, Jesus kept talking about this kingdom, and it was unlike any kingdom that they had ever heard before. There wasn't princesses and princes and dragons, but this kingdom sounded really special. So one day they asked him, and they said, Jesus, what is the kingdom of heaven like? And this one time, Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is like a woman. So we'll get our big underlay felt down to tell this story. And we'll hold up the pieces for you. So the kingdom of heaven is like a woman. You want to hold up the table? Who makes 3 bowls of flour. Can we put the flour on the table?
Mm-hmm.
She mixes in 3 bowls of flour. 1, 2, 3. That's a lot of flour. Can you mix up our flour, Eli?
Mm-hmm.
Can you mix it, stir it up? Stir, stir, stir. So then the flour became this big lump of dough. And the woman then adds our leaven. So leaven is the yeast. You want to mix in our leaven? She mixed in the leaven, mix, mix, mix. It's represented by a gold triangle. So she mixed in the leaven, and soon she patiently waited. And the dough that was once flat then rose up higher and higher and higher to be a big, fluffy bread. Oftentimes we find that bread in our store, or maybe your parents and caregivers have been making bread while we're in quarantine. And it was big and fluffy. Now, I wonder, who do you think this woman might be?
You?
Me? Sometimes I make bread, but I'm not as patient as this lady, I don't think. But I'm working on it. Who else do you think this woman could be?
Me?
You? Yeah, sometimes you make bread. I wonder if the woman or the person could be you. I wonder if it could be God. I wonder what the leaven might really be. We know what it is in real life, but I wonder if this leaven could be and mean something else. What do you think, Eli?
Bread.
Bread. Yeah. In real life, it's what helps to make the bread rise up. I wonder if the leaven could be something that we do or think in the world. I wonder if we thought about our actions as allowing something to rise up and get bigger. I wonder if talking about Jesus could make our world bigger and better. I wonder if showing love and joy and peace and being patient could make this little teeny tiny experience of heaven here get bigger and bigger and bigger, so our whole world experiences the heaven that is with God. I wonder what you think about this story. I wonder if you've ever made bread before.
Not me.
Not you? That's not true. We make bread. I wonder if you will be extra patient today. Extra patient with your siblings. Extra patient as you wait for food. I wonder if you could do your breathing exercises and notice the pause in between each breath to help you be more patient and wait a little bit longer. I am so excited to share with you the next video of our dear friend who will teach us how to be patient and how to make bread. Thanks for joining us.